So you know that your husband is really liking something when he asks for it. 3 times. I asked him what I could fix for him in the last couple months, and the thing he's asked for the most is this: burnt ends. Now, we don't have a brisket, and there's just 2 of us. So what I've learned to do is make what's called poor man's burnt ends. You take a roast and you cook it on the smoker just like you would a brisket. Now, I'm going to show you how, and it's real easy. Then you can make it for your young man. I'm calling you young, Randy. Brownie points and burnt ends. Y'all take care. Watch how it's done. Just look at this beautiful chuck roast from Dakota Prime Meats. We're going to cook this on the smoker to make burnt ends. And the first thing I'm going to do is wipe it down with a paper towel on both sides. Then we're going to put a little Himalayan salt. I use the pink Himalayan granules. Then we're going to use a little pepper grind, black pepper. It's a mixture I get from the fresh market. And then we're going to put a barbecue rub seasoning powder that I like, that it doesn't have any added sugar in it. And it's Stubbs barbecue rub. And it's just delicious. I also take the olive oil and drizzle a little bit, and then take a brush and brush it all over the meat to fully coat it and get it incorporated. And then we're going to turn it over and do the very same thing. Now, you can use any rub that you want to. You use any favorite rub, pre-bought, or you can even make your own. Basic ingredients for the rub tend to be, whether you want to do any type of brown sugar in it or not, and paprika and things. But here I'm going to put everything the same on the other side: the salt, the pepper, and the barbecue rub, as well as the olive oil. But whatever you like in your dry rub, and you can certainly include a little bit of sugar if you want to do that. Just be cautious. Any type of sugar that you put on the grill is going to burn. If you have a whole lot of it, if you're doing a direct flame. Now, what I use is a pellet grill, and I'm going to show you how that works. After you get everything, all the dry rub with the olive oil, or however you like to pre-season your meat, I like to leave it in the refrigerator overnight and then bring it back out about 30 minutes to an hour before you're going to put it on the pellet grill so it can come back up to temperature. Now, you can cook this in the slow cooker on low all day, or either you can put it in the oven about 325 for about 3 hours. My hopper is full. You have to check it every once in a while, and there is a hole down there at the bottom, and there's an auger and it feeds. So I always mound it up over on top of where the auger hole is, and that supplies the wood pellets into the smoker. I've inserted a probe in the middle of the roast, and it's showing that it is 46 degrees. Okay, I have transferred the roast to the smoker. I'm going to close the lid and let it do its thing. Normally in regular temperatures I would put it at 250, but it is so cold. I'm putting it at 275, and we're going to cook it to a temperature of 160, and then we're going to foil it. So we'll check on it in a little bit. It says the actual temperature is all the way down to 196. So you can see you don't want to raise the lid of your smoker because it does make a difference. So now it's coming back up to temperature. These are the pellets that I'm using today. It's an apple wood pellet, and it says it's made with real whiskey barrels. So it's an apple wood whiskey. The sun has come out, and it's warming up outside a lot better than the 13 degrees we started out with. But it's 32. That probe says it's 32 too, so that's right on the money. The internal temperature of the actual roast has just gone up to 59, and I've got the alarm set for 160. And we're going to do something else with that. So that's what's up. It's cooking right along, so I'm going to lower the temperature to 250 on the smoker. It's still cold out here, 32 degrees, but it's still not 13. I was worried that I'd have to have it a little higher because of how cold it was out here. That's why I've been watching that probe. I'm keeping an eye on it. It's up to 127. Woo! Okay, we're just about over here, almost at 160. At that 160 mark, we're going to take a piece of heavy-duty aluminum foil, and we're going to wrap the meat up and then raise the temperature up. There you go. Here we're going to do it. You've got to keep a check on your hopper. I just had to put some extra in here, and I always fix it to where it is mounted on top of where the intake is for the auger. I've wrapped up the meat in aluminum foil and the probe is still in it. I could have changed the programming, but I just do this all the time, so I just switch them. So I'll keep that one at 160, this one at 205. This just alerts me just in case it's going up faster, and I can cook it between 205 and 210. That's when we're going to take it off and let it rest. So I'm going to go do something else for an hour or two. This is not a quick thing. You got to start it early in the day. Okay, it hit 205, and I've brought this in, and I sat it down, and it has been cooling for about 25 minutes, resting. And the juice at the bottom is totally cooked. That's just juice from the actual moisture of the beef. And it's time to cut it into small bite-sized pieces. I've transferred this delicious piece of beef, oh gosh, it smells so good, to the cutting board, and the bone just came right out of it. I have made 3 horizontal slits or splits, and that gave me 4 pieces. Look at that smoke ring. Oh, great indication of how great it tastes. And it does, y'all. It just smells so good. And then I'm going to cut it into bite-sized pieces and put it in a full pan so I can put it back on the smoker. Just cut all of it into small bite-sized pieces. And it's easier to do with 2 hands if you're not holding a camera. I've put them in an aluminum foil pan that can go straight on the grill, and I've got about 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to add to it about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of a good barbecue sauce that you like. I'm using a sugar-free barbecue sauce, and it tastes excellent, especially with that vinegar. And I'm going to just pour that in there and make sure all of my roast pieces are going to be in that vinegar or have touched it in some way. And then we're going to put it back on the smoker. Now push them on down in there and get them really nice and vinegary and cover them with the sauce. And let's take them back out. You can put this back on the smoker now, and I had been holding it warm at 250. I'm going to raise the temperature to 275. And just let it stay there for 2 or 3 hours. I had just brought it in. Oh my gosh, it is just, so tender. And the flavor with that sauce going all the way through it, honey, it is so delicious. So I give you poor man's burnt ends. But honey, it's anything but poor. I'm going to plate it on up for you. I've drizzled some of that wonderful concentrated barbecue sauce, and this just splits right with a fork. And I've cooked some string beans and add a little barbecue sauce and vinegar to that, and we're ready to eat, y'all. This is just lip smacking, all kinds of wonderful good. Y'all make it for yourselves. Poor man's burnt ends. Thanks for watching. God bless you.